Okay. All right, welcome. We are in the last week. So this is like a recap, and man, so proud of you guys because an eventful 6 weeks, and this is like the boot camp we have done here is literally made for you guys to level up. And oh my gosh, Kayla, I just saw your comment. I'll fit in the call. That's so hilarious. Okay, so I'm just going to recap what we've had this last 6 weeks. We've had Sammy Reed speak about vision and crafting a compelling story. And we also had Sarah Dunning chat about overcoming rejection. Okay, and if you haven't watched those, I would suggest going to watch them, rewatch them. You should have watched them. You're on a boot camp. It was all about making extra time for the extra work. I want to tell you actually the earnings of Sammy and Sarah. Okay, so now this is what I've been told by Sammy. So just on Sammy here, she listens to the recording. But these are like our uplines. So we directly, basically this business here, like your business, our business, everyone's business is all about being duplicatable. Okay, so our uplines earn this money. They have these big businesses and that flows through to us, okay? So everything you get, we learn from Sammy comes from these uplines, okay? So I wrote it down, but this will blow your mind. It just makes me so excited that we have this opportunity at our hands. So Sammy Reed makes around $500,000 a year, and she probably works a couple of hours a day. I know when she was on a call with me and Kayla today, she literally pulled on the side of the road, got her phone up for half an hour, and probably carried on to the beach. Like, just ridiculous. Like, it's such an amazing lifestyle. Her upline is Stuart Armfield. He makes around $1 million a year, and probably working around the same, maybe even less. And then the upline is Sarah Dunning, and she is actually the second biggest income earner globally. So how exciting is that we are in her team? And she earns around $2 million a year. Someone work out what that is a month. Like, that's ridiculous. It's just insane. Put it in the chat if you want to work it out. But it just goes to show that you guys have had training by those two, by Stuart, by Sammy and Sarah, and I no doubt Stuart will come in here and train us as well in the very near future. They have put in the hard work, 100%. They didn't get there by doing nothing, but hard work for a short amount of time means more choices long term, and I am all in for that. Okay. So after that, we then had Glenna teaching on social media. She is our social media queen with a little crown. Haley blew me away last week with the DMOs. So I was actually on a plane, but I did watch the recording, and I have uploaded that into our, not just Level Up Bootcamp Boards app, but the actual Vibe Nation Boards app, into the first, one of the first sections about your daily method of operations. It's so good, Haley, honestly, well done. And if you haven't watched that or you haven't caught up with it, you should have, but go and watch it. And I am so impressed with you, Haley. This is going to be like a little shout out to you, because you literally blow me away every single day, just you showing up. And so if you guys don't know Haley, before now, when I first met Haley a year ago, she was so introverted, and she since becoming a mum 7 years ago, she barely left the home for any social reasons. All her network was gone from school. She kept up with no one. She had every excuse in the book to not do this business because she literally had family to talk to. So which, and if you guys haven't witnessed the changes that I have seen in Haley, but she basically is a 180 version of the person she was a year ago. Okay, so in watching you grow, Haley, literally melts my heart, because it's a no excuse attitude. She has learned to network through her network. She has learned to get over rejection. She has her shitty days, but her personal growth in this business in this last year, she can always see the bigger picture. She can, if something knocks her down, she can see over it, and she realizes, it's actually, when something hits you, it's on the other person. Okay, so when we're facing a curveball in our life, or something's there's distraction, it's generally not to do with you. And if someone's coming at you for something, or if someone doesn't like your business, or someone doesn't like your post, or someone's judging you for something, it's on them. And like, I'm just going to say something which, like, I'm actually like okay with this, but I just spent the whole Saturday in Auckland with my family. No one, no one in that family asked me about my promotion to Gonna Region. Okay. And it doesn't, I don't care because I'm like, fuck you, watch me go nation. Sorry, in a nice way. I love my family for so many different things, but do you know what? Like, it just goes to show that, like, this business isn't for everyone. It's not going to interest everyone. And if you're worried about your family judging you, what the fuck? My family doesn't like, they just couldn't give two shits about this. Okay. So who cares? Your family, like, you ask them once, if they don't want to do your business, they don't want to buy products. There are thousands of people out there, and honestly, the more rejection you get, the more it should actually drive you to do this business. And for those of you who have family support you, by the way, shout out to Mallory. She hasn't announced it yet, but her sister has just joined the business, which is exciting. So shout out to Mallory. I just go, when you get family joining you, it's just the best. Like, it'll be my dream come true if all my sisters joined, but who knows, it might come one day, maybe when I'm a 5-wide EMVP. So this business throws you curveballs. It's going to test you. It's going to make you cry. If you haven't yet cried, you probably aren't invested enough to make this business change your life. It's coming. So if you haven't cried, that's okay. Don't fake cry. It'll come. The tears are worth it. Okay. Every time something comes up, gets in your way, makes it difficult, wants to stop you, it's the world testing you that you're actually growing and that you're actually on the right path. It's the world testing you to see if you're ready. Okay. So when hard times come up, do you decide to put on Netflix and chill for a few days, or do you decide to, take 5, take an hour, and then recoup and get back on the bandwagon? And I hope you all are the second part of that, the latter, get back on the bandwagon, because that is what keeps momentum running in this business. And momentum can take a while to build, but when you're in it, like this team is still in it, you just need to keep going with it. You just keep running for it, because I have honestly, for the last almost 2 years in this business, everyone talks about momentum. I'm like, what the hell is momentum? I just don't get it. And our team has been in momentum running for RVP, and it's just been the chats are going, people are going. Shalini came on the end of last month. She's like, what the hell is going on with this chat? Is it always like this? I was like, no, this is just really intense. I'll fill you in at the start of next month, because she came in with a week to go, and it was like boom, boom, boom. The Vibe Nation sale had gone on, and it was insane. So yeah. And I want to use momentum as like running for RVP. Okay. So I'm just going to use it as a goal, because we can then like use it as a baseline for running for DM or AM. Okay. So I want to use, like, in June, I decided it was time to level the fuck up and go for it. Okay. I had no idea if we were ready or not. I heard a podcast, and this one podcast was talked to me. I was like, that person's talking to me. We need to go. It's like the 5th of the month. We are going for it. We were sitting on 20,000 in May. And if you don't know, the numbers for 40,000 for RVP to go into qual. Okay. And so I had no idea if we were ready, but I needed to be the one to make the move, or else it was never going to happen. So if you're right now a consultant or a district manager, and you're waiting for the right time to run for DM, or to go for DM, or to go for AM, I'm telling you right now, now is the time. Because it's not just you, but it's this whole team that is going to help you get there. Because this whole team, your sidelines are also in momentum, and we are also like in such like a positive, encouraging, just everything is flowing, that you just need to run with the sidelines. You need it, because if you're a consultant right now with no one underneath you, like, if you've got a wider team and momentum, go with it, because it's not all this momentum won't always be there. Okay. And even if you need more of a team, like, that team won't come unless you put yourself out there to the world that you're actually running for this. Okay. And who cares if you miss it this month? Like, who cares? I 100% reckon if you went for it, you'll still land higher this month than if you were to just kind of like take your time. Okay. So if you go back to me in June, we ran for RVP. 40,000 is the goal. The month before we were on 20,000. So we're like trying to double in 1 month. We finished on 28,500. Okay, so we missed it. July, we finished on 24,000. We went down. I could have 100% given up here. But do you know what? Like, I didn't, because over that 2-month period, the momentum between this whole team, and this is what's going to happen with you guys, the momentum will carry you forward. And we actually end up in August then finishing on 41,600. So we overdid it. And then we went to 55,000 in September. Like, insane what this team is capable of. And that's like a massive team effort, which is why we're celebrating this weekend, because it is all like so much of a team effort. But just goes to show that, like, if I didn't step up, just like if you guys don't step up, that like it just won't happen. Like, you actually just have to go with it. Okay. So if you're on the fence or don't feel like it's time, I'm telling you right now, it's time, because I know the girls in this team and I know the girls on this call, and I know. Okay. I'm in conversations with you all the time. Do more business asks, do more sip and samples, do more product asks, more follow-ups, more lives on Instagram, more reels, more posts, more stories, more shout outs in Vibe Nation. Like, that is a key one as well. Like, celebrate, toot your own horn. We love when you guys toot your own horn. More checking in with your team. Basically, the more activity you are in, the faster you will grow. Okay, so I want you to write down these 2 questions. How much money do you want to earn with Arbonne as an initial goal? Your initial goal is like a 6-month time frame. So write that down. And then the second one is, why do you want to do this business? Now I want you to send me these answers to me, because then I can help you plan. Okay. And then also, I know that you're really into this if you send this to me, because I'm going to put it in the chat. I'll copy and paste it in the chat for you guys. How much money do you want to earn with Arbonne as an initial 6-month goal? And then I'm very bad at multitasking. Send these answers to me and I will let you know a plan. I will make a plan for you, okay? Oh, where are my notes? Okay, this is the homework for the rest of October. Okay, and I'm going to keep myself accountable to this. I'm going to post in Vibe Nation. Actually, how am I going to do this? Okay, basically the homework for the rest of October, you can continue it longer if you want. I want you all to do 5 business asks a day. So business asks can be like reach backs. If you have been in the business for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, a year, you can circle back with those people and that can still be counted as a business ask. And circling back, I remember Sammy Reed telling me this 7 months into my business. She's like, you need to go back and tell everyone how shit, like literally apologize about how shit you were at presenting the business when you were new, and ask them if you can do a do-over and talk to them about the business. And put the blame on you of yourself and just say, like, I was new. I had no idea what I was doing. I felt like I fucked it up and I probably did. Can I please redo it? Can I please reshare the business with you? I'm so like, I have these big goals and I know what I want. I want my Mercedes, whatever. And tell them, speak with vision, and they'll probably say yes. Okay. So if we work out those numbers, 5 business asks a day equals 35 a week. This equals about 140 a month. This is that's 4 weeks basically, which probably will get you around 3 to 5 consultants. Okay. Now consultants do take more time, but if you are doing this activity, the people you ask today, 2 months later, are probably watching you for that whole 2 months, turn up because you've done your social media training, you're turning up every day on your social media. And 2 months down the track, they'll go, oh, she is really still serious about this business. And so when I go back about, you need to run for DM or you need to run for AM, and you're like, oh, I don't feel like I'm right. All this is like traction that's building. Okay, you're planting all these seeds. They are all playing a part in the bigger picture. Okay, and so if you feel like, oh, I'm just going to ask people now that they won't take me seriously, who cares? Like, they know you're doing Arbonne. They know what you're offering. When they need help, they will be there. Crystal is someone who I asked like 2 months into my business. She said a flat out no, and I had no idea, but she was like in massive postpartum like depression. She was all in mum mode. She didn't want to talk to anyone. And then it took her 13, 15 months to become a customer, which was February this year. And because she'd been watching me for ages and ages and ages. And then in June, I just randomly asked her about the business when we had started running for region. And she said no. And then the start of July became a half price, just like now, half price sign up, and she signed up, she upgraded. Okay, so it just shows that like just planting seeds everywhere, they all matter. Okay, so that is your homework. And from this homework, I want you to make accountability chat. So if you still have one, I want you to redo those intentions for that chat. Okay, I would like ideally if you made it a three-way chat, that would be even better because then you've got someone else to bounce off in that group and there's kind of like a bit more energy. And the way you do this is like screenshotting it. Okay, so like screenshot, then like it's actual proof. You can like block out the name. You don't have to show the exact person on there, but it keeps you accountable. And the whole point of this is to create the habit. Okay. Who cares if your business asks suck right now? I need to share with you. I will share with you. Someone remind me after this to share with you some of my first screenshots. They were like essays. They were literally this long. And I was copying and pasting this to everyone because I was so excited. And I thought they needed to know everything. But turns out they don't. They just need to know less is more. Okay, so be intentional with your time. It's creating the habit, sitting down. Who are these 5 people that you want to talk to? And probably the last point I can add to this part here is that the best advice if you're busy, which we all are, we all have shit going on in our lives, the night before or the morning, whatever's going to work for you, I want you to sit down and plan your day for the next day. Okay, it takes 5 minutes. And think about these 5 people you're going to ask. Okay, so the best way you could do it is like you've posted something up today. Who are 5 people that have liked that post? Write those names down. That way tomorrow on your lunch break, you know you're going to ask Mallory and Glenna and Kayla and Simran and Jess. Those are the first 5 obviously on my list. Okay. If you feel like you don't know who you've asked. If you feel like you don't know who to ask or have asked everyone, where would you start? I would start making conversations. So I'm definitely in a point where I feel like I have asked everyone, but I haven't. I haven't. If I look on my absolute go through my last month, I sat down for a whole week in the middle weekend of September. I literally went to a cafe from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday and 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Sunday. Asking. I literally got my Facebook group out on Facebook page and just scrolled. There are so many people now I have not asked. A lot of those people you can just start making connections with. Okay. So if you feel like you cannot ask 5 people a day, I want you to screenshot 5 connections, 5 new. It's all about relationships as well. Okay, so like 5 new, hello, how are you doing? I don't know. Ask about the dogs. Kayla said some good points before about, I've written down actually. Written down. I don't know because I don't put them under labels, but anyway. I don't put things. I know what you mean though. It's about building relationships. It's about the kids thing. You said find something in common, like Glenna, dogs. She finds heaps in common with dogs. Okay, kids. Anyone with kids, I can instantly just be relatable because if you got kids, any age and stage, whatever. And so it's finding common ground, and you can look on their social media and be like, oh, they went to like a truck and digger expo. Where the hell did you go? Because I want to go with my kids. Finding common ground and just starting a conversation. And I remember it felt quite awkward when I started just to start these random conversations, but now I'm just like really into like finding out what people are up to, and they might not be the people you want to do business with, and that's okay. Not everyone will. To be honest, most people, probably 90% of people won't want to do the business, but it's just about getting that routine in. So yeah. So the homework, if I want to redo that, it's up in the chat somewhere. How much money do you want to earn with Arbonne as initial goal? 6 months is your initial goal. And why do you want to do this business? And that why you want to do your business, like actually go deep on that one. I was asking a couple girls this last couple of days as well. So some of you have sent it to me. I did a follow train on social media to bring followers. What's that, Glenna? Do you want to unmute yourself and explain it?
So certain social media groups and platforms do what's called a follow train, and if you know where to look for ones that are in your network / type of people you want to kind of do, because I've done a few, like when I started Girl Squad page from zero, I did a few, but I got a lot of sort of like spammy stuff. But now that I've researched into it, you can find one. So the last one I just did was a women's one. So it was all women, all health or wellness space people. So a lot of PTs and stuff like that. And it's global. So basically they set a group chat and they set a time that it starts. You go follow everyone and everyone follows you back. But it's just a real good way to connect with everyone. I do them sort of like on my own as well, like by going to like, say, I don't know if any of you guys have heard of like Jordan Whittaker, or there's a few like mum bloggers / Instagram influencers. If you go to like their pages and you literally go through their followers, I always go through people that follow them as opposed to people they follow, because people that follow them is more the network you want to dive into. And I just hit like 20-30 follows from those lists, and I'll go between like different sort of ones. Like I've got a couple of like dog animal pages that I will go to, and you can do your own follow train. This is the first one I've like officially jumped on with a business since doing Arbonne. But yeah, if you want to know more about it, I can flick you information. But pretty much like just going and doing your own follow train, like you literally just go follow 50 people, 20 people in a week, and then you get them start to follow you back. And then every single one that follows me back, I send a message. Hey, thanks so much for following me. Like, let me know if you'd like to connect, and either tell them a little bit about what I do, or just like have a little general chit chat. And it's just a real easy way to gain following, but also grow your network, if that makes sense.
That's so good. Yeah, it's so good, like to grow your network, of course. Yeah, and it's good that you reply back to the people who follow you. That's another thing that I don't know if everyone's heard, but if you do get people who follow you, like actually make an effort to message them, and you can say something like, hey, thanks for the follow. Just wondering if you're here for any information, or you're here for the support, or you like following my page.
Yeah. And like I do it to everyone that's I've already followed, even because they've come back to specifically follow me. So that deserves a thank you as well. Like I used to initially think, oh, if I follow them first, then they're just following me back kind of thing. But now I'm like, nah, like I need to appreciate every single person for following me. And you can literally go back through your list. So if there's like days that I haven't done it, I'll scroll back for like 2-3 days and be like, right, look, thanks for following me. And sorry, it's a day late or a week late or whatever, but it gives me something to have a conversation with them about.
Yeah. If it's not public, I would say request it. But also say if you guys have your own pages, I would suggest not having it, having it public so anyone can see can see and connect. Because if you have yours private, you're blocking so much. You're just like, we're in network marketing, which means we need to like network in our markets. How do I know?
Yeah. You'll gain 10 times more followers from being public than you will being private, because most people won't bother with private pages. I always request to follow people that are private too, because I'm like, what if they're like my 1%er, you know?
Bye, Mallory. Yeah, so that is all from this call anyway. So drop those, give me those homework questions. I would love to help you with them. I want to help you with them. And yeah, get your accountability group, message, go into Level Up, find the girls in that group, make a freeway, just make it happen, because that's the only way to build your businesses, is just get into massive action. Okay, it doesn't take long to do this business. Awesome work, guys. That is it for tonight. Thank you so much for tuning up for the 6-week boot camp, and see you later. See you later.